Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it is your first time here. My name is Lauren, and on this channel we talk about books, and today we are finally doing the mid-year freak out tag video that every booktuber known to the face of the earth is doing. I'm hopping on the train. The last time I did like a tag review, I thought it was, not review, but video, I thought it was so much fun. So when I saw this one circulating, I was like, I'm hopping on the train. I may be in the caboose, but I'm hopping on it. I mean, it's August. Is it really the middle of the year anymore? I don't think so. We're now towards the second half of the year, but either way, we are doing the video. I'm so excited. I do have the questions like up in front of me. I haven't like written out my answers, but I have like pre-thought of them, because last time whenever I did a tag review, not review, I don't know why I keep on saying that. The last time I did a tag video, I kind of like freeballed it the first time and the video was extremely long. So I was like, scratch that. And I went back and kind of like thought out what my answers were, and it significantly trimmed the video down. So I have done something similar this time around as well, just because your girl can ramble, especially when we get to talking about books. I could be here with you guys all day, and I know that we just don't have time for that. These tag videos are so fun for me because I feel like they remind me of like, maybe this is, you know, I'm like telling my age, but they remind me so much of like the MySpace surveys that we would do, you know, that we would then like post on our MySpace wall. I just feel like these are so similar to that, only now instead of typing it out and posting it on MySpace, we are filming ourselves and posting it on YouTube. But it definitely has like, it just has like a nostalgic feel for me, like going through these questions and like answering them and like seeing like what your friends say. You know, it's very MySpace survey days, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So without further ado, let's get into the mid-year freakout tag video. So it says, where are you on your 2025 reading goal? So far this year, I have read 28 books, so I am behind on my reading goal. My reading goal is to read at least 65 books. That is not including anything that is on Audible. That is physically reading reading words. So I have read physically, whether it's a physical book or on my Kindle, I have read 28 books. I do need to read like 10 books to catch up to be on my reading goal, which I know is totally possible. The summertime is not a quick or not like a heavy reading frame for me, just because my kids are out of school. I just get out of like my normal routine. Like everything just goes to the wind, like June and July. Like I don't even know what is happening. Like, did I live those months? I don't even know. Like, where was I? Was I here? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, I did not read very much during those months. I think in June, I maybe read like 2 or 3 books. In July, I did pick up the pace a little bit, and I think I read 5 or 6 books. So I think August moving forward, I will get back to reading about 9 books a month. December, something happens to me in December, maybe because it's cold outside and I'm just like in bed or wrapped up on my couch, but I can read like 12 to 15 books just in December alone. So I'm not super worried about it, but as of today, as it stands, I am behind on my reading goal. Best book of 2025 so far. Okay, this is a hard one for me because I really have read such amazing new releases this year. I do have like 4, maybe 5 top contenders that could easily be placed as like the answer to this question, just depending on the day, depending on my mood. But I would say the best book that I read this year is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This book took me by surprise. I was not expecting or anticipating to enjoy it the way that I did. This book just hit so many check boxes for me. This book was a 5-star read. I know that the second book is already out, but I do own the first book in paperback, and there's just something OCD in me that I need. Like, if I owned this book in hardcover, I would buy the hardcover, but because this book is paperback, I need its companion book to also be paperback, and I'm sure that the author or publisher will release a paperback version, hopefully. So I will pick this book up when it becomes available in paperback. And during the spooky seasons, I pretty much have a mindset of a TBR, so I'm not super eager to get my hands on book 2, but I loved book 1. Come like December, January, I will definitely be itching to read the second installment of this series. So if the paperback is not available come, 2026, I'll probably just read it on my Kindle, because I am really eager to read it, because I love the first one so much. Just with us entering spooky season, I will be reading spooky books, and this is not a spooky book by any means, but I did love this book. The best sequel of 2025, okay, hands down, without a doubt, Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. Oh, just love her last name. I love Italian last names. I loved this book. I loved the banter. I loved the story. I loved the character development. I loved their love story development. I loved the development between Gideon and Rune. The only thing that I hated about this book is that it was the last one, that the story is over. I closed that book and I stared into the nothingness forever. And I just was like, I mean, yeah, people complain that, oh, it's predictable. Oh, it's just like, yeah, it kind of was. Like, of course you expect a happy ending. Of course you expect him to choose her over everything. Like, yeah, of course. But it's kind of like biting into a burger. Like, you know that it's a burger, and like you know what you're gonna you know what it's gonna taste like, but it was just like a really good burger. It was like cooked perfectly. It had all like the right sauces, all the right toppings. It was just the best, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it was a burger, and I knew it was going to be a burger, but it was a delicious burger. That was this book. It just ticked all the boxes for me, and I loved it so much, and I just hate that it's over. I hate that I've eaten the entire burger and I don't have another bite left. Like, that makes me so sad. But I just think job well done to the author, and I think that she is coming out with an adult romantasy. I think I actually have already pre-ordered it from Amazon. I can't think of the title, but I will post a picture here of what that book is, and I will let you see. And this is supposed to be her adult debut, and I am so over the moon for that, because Rebel Witch and The Crimson Moth were obviously both as a YA duology, and it just rocked my socks. So I cannot wait to see what this author does with an adult romantasy. Super stoked. So best 2025 release / most anticipated release of 2025 so far. Okay, definitely The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. That book was could also be, depending on when you ask me, the best book I've read of 2025 so far. Just depends on my mood, like I was saying. This book, since it was released this year, I think fits perfectly, because this book was just a masterpiece. The writing was so beautiful. The characters were so beautiful. The magic system was so interesting. Like, the storyline that is the magic system was also like devastating and jaw-dropping and beautiful in its own way. And our female main character, she is just she's just so grand. She's so amazing. And our male main character, the knight, he's also just like, you want to hug him, like you want him in your corner. His story, like what he is after, is just so, I don't know, it's like religion and politics and just all of these things mashed into one, and how he is just like the rebel shaker of like, I don't know, of what is expected for religion and politics, and I just love that. And then, you know, we have this king that you think he's a good guy, but maybe something slimy feels about him, and like the development of that character is just perfect. The only thing I didn't like about this book was the ending. I'm not going to give it away in case you haven't read it, but the trope, I guess that you will, that was introduced at the ending of this book was just like kind of an eye roll for me. I don't love that story progression, but we will see what Rachel Gillig does with that. But yeah, like that trope, the ending was just like kind of like that's just annoying. But overall, I did love this book. I would give this book a 4.75 only because the ending was not my favorite. But aside from that really small detail that will evolve in book 2, I loved this book, and I hope that one day I find a friend as amazing as Bartholomew. If you know, you know. So yeah, I adored this book. My biggest disappointment of 2025 so far is definitely Fearless by Lauren Roberts, which is so wild because I loved Powerless and I loved Reckless. Powerless is definitely my favorite book, which is book 1 of the trilogy, and then there's like 2 novellas, I think. Yeah, I don't know, you guys, and I feel so terrible because I wanted to love this book. I expected to love this book because I did love the first 2, but this book just did not do it for me. It fell so unbelievably flat. I do have a full 3-part like powwow rambling session about this book, so if you are interested in hearing like my full in-depth thoughts, I did do a unintentional deep dive of this book, if you will. Like I said, it's 3 parts and each video is about 30 minutes long. Like I said, when I get to going about a book, I like don't know when to shut up. So that's, I guess, one thing I need to work on is just like shutting up, being concise, you know. But yeah, I did not love this book at all. I think I gave it like 2.75 stars. It just, I mean, there were good parts to it, I guess, you know, but just, yeah, I mean, I just feel like this book was not it. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to control the ramble that I feel trying to come out. If you want to know my thoughts and feelings and opinions, like I said, I do have a 3-part rant about this book, but yeah, this was my biggest disappointment. I hated it. New favorite character of 2025, absolutely Bartholomew. Like, everyone needs a Bartholomew, just a sweet, innocent, I'm rooting for you friend that like doesn't want to be without you, wants to see you win, wants to see you succeed, wants to see you safe and happy, and just all of those things. Everyone needs a Bartholomew. Favorite new author of 2025. Okay, I did not see this coming, but like I said, Cassandra Clare, the author of The Swordcatcher, her writing just did something for me. Like, there wasn't any steamy spice. It wasn't, there was no romance at all. Not that I can recall. Like little, like, I don't know, like side comments here. There's definitely like something brewing between 2 of our characters, but I mean, the spice level is zero spice, all fantasy, and which is fine with me. But there just was something something about this book, about the writing style. It was easy to read. It flowed well. I was never bored. I was never like, okay, let's get on with it. I enjoyed the entire book. And yeah, it's a favorite. I loved her writing. The most beautiful book you bought this year, definitely The Night and the Moth. That book is gorgeous. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so like not a book box or anything like that. Just anyone could go to Barnes & Noble and purchase this edition. I think the book is gorgeous. It's heavy, it feels luxurious, it's metallic, it's gorgeous. TBR for the rest of 2025. Okay, that's like impossible to say. I mean, I do like a monthly TBR. I don't really have any books where I'm like, I have to read this year. That doesn't really exist for me. Now, in the months of August, September, and October, I do pull specific genre of books. Like I'm gonna read witchy books, I'm gonna read paranormal, supernatural books, I'm going to read spooky, eerie, you know, not thriller. It's all going to be definitely like fantasy realm. But we're going to focus a lot on witches and maybe like haunted houses, paranormal romance, something like that, you know, but there isn't like a specific book that I like absolutely must have to read. Now, I do have books on like my radar that I want to purchase this year, which I know is quite different than reading. I do like an anticipated releases where even like I just personally like will go through releases online, and then most of them I do share with you here on my channel. So I do have like a TBR in that kind of sense, but that's more from like a purchasing standpoint, books that I want to add to my collection rather than a reading standpoint. But aside from that, I don't really have like a set, I absolutely want to read this book in 2025. I don't feel like that would work for me. Like it would change. It would be a pointless list because it would change. Book boyfriend of 2025 so far. Listen, I have not found a book boyfriend that trumps Zayden Ryerson for me. I am sorry. I know some of you are probably like, that's so cringe. But when a girl is in love, when a girl knows, she knows, okay? I am still very much so faithful to Zayden Ryerson. No one has came into my life where I'm like, that's the new zaddy. So yeah. I'm still living in Zayden La La Land. What can I say? All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching today's video. That's all the questions that I am going to answer today. I do have to run and pick up my kiddos from daycare. So I think that we got some good questions and some good answers out of today's tag. I really enjoyed doing this video. If book tags are something that you guys like to see, just so we can kind of sit down and like have more of a discussion, you guys can get to know me. And please feel free to answer these questions in the comments down below so that way I can get to know you guys better. I think that's really fun as well. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.